Hey there, everyone. Welcome. I'm Wardy with Traditional Cooking School, home of the Eat God's Way cooking program. And today I'm joined by Mary. Hi, Mary.
Hello, I'm glad to be here.
Me too. Me too. I've been so excited to chat with Mary. She's one of our students from last fall at the time that we're recording this. And she has a wonderful story of transformation, especially concerning her husband, which I'm not going to take the words out of her mouth. So, Mary, let's start out with a quick introduction about you, where you live, your husband, your situation, as much as you feel comfortable sharing.
Okay, so my name is Mary. They call me Mary Blueberry sometimes, which
Oh,
makes me happy. But I am married with three adult children, and we have a mini basic homestead, farmstead type of thing that we're trying to get going. My husband, Chris, had an emergency last year, was hospitalized, and that is what prompted me to look into Eat God's Way.
I mean, not awesome. Terrible, but a wake-up call.
Thank goodness you were there.
So he's okay now. Yes. Okay.
So Chris was hospitalized, and just a little tiny bit of background on him is he's 49 now, but when he was 11, God delivered him from ALL. He was a cancer patient. So he is like 36 years cancer free. And at the time he went through the cancer, there wasn't a lot of protocol on how to treat this in children. So Chris was kind of the forerunner and the guinea pig, if you will. Some of the treatments they did for him are actually in the medical books today. And the reason I tell you that is because one of the drugs that they put him on, they used too big of a dose, and it caused pancreatitis and a cyst in his pancreas. So when last April came up, he went in the hospital because his blood glucose was, I want to say it was like 618.
Ooh, very high.
Right. So his family had previously thought that he would probably end up with diabetes someday. And this one just came out of the blue. It shocked us. He had quit drinking all alcohol like 4 to 5 years prior. And we were just really on a health mission, trying to clean up everything in our life and just eat better, all this stuff. And so this one really surprised us. So they hospitalized him. They let him out about 3 days later after multiple tests and scans and put him on 4 injected doses of insulin a day. A week later, they added a pill form metformin dose in the evening as well, which is kind of unheard of. But the thing with my husband's case is they could not identify exactly what type of diabetes he had. They couldn't say it was type 1, type 2, or type 3. So we just went with the flow, but that panicked me. And
Hmm.
I had just learned about traditional cooking school through another Christian program that I follow, the Essential Oils Mom with Dr. Z. They
Hmm.
come across your program through their little referral service and hadn't even really researched it yet, but kind of just put a pin in it. Oh, I'm going to
Hmm.
that later. And here it was. This was the perfect opportunity that this program was here for me. And I immediately joined, and that began our journey. And I don't know if I should shoot straight to the end, but he is
Yes.
excellent. And just this week has stopped taking the metformin pill, the one
Wow.
dose that he was on. Saw his doctor a couple of weeks ago. He is a very popular, very big endocrinologist here in Bend. By the way, we're in Central Oregon, right in the middle in Bend,
Mhm.
which is a great place to be. We're very blessed. But this doctor just doesn't know what to think. He's just literally put in Chris's chart notes that there's really just no explanation for just everything. God is so amazing. I feel like this program really helped me to tap into and learn, focus on how God created our bodies. God created our bodies in a certain way. We have needs, and everything is just, we are fearfully and wonderfully created. It's so
Mhm.
incredible. And so when we give our bodies the right building blocks, our bodies then function as God intended them to, even though we're this many thousands of years into a fallen world where sin and sickness abound. If we obey God, if we go back to doing things His way, even making a small effort like I was able to do, it seems like God will just rush the 10,000 yards to meet us right where we are. So we started just doing the healthy things, obeying God with what we put into our temples. And God just came and healed Chris. My own journey with prediabetes, I was diagnosed a few months ago and put on a medication at night too, because even though I was feeding him and it was all working for him, my body wasn't working right.
Everyone's different.
my doctor was like, "Oh, Mary, let's try this with you." So I normally wouldn't love prescription medication. Honestly, I just want to stay clear of it. I don't believe it's the greatest thing, but in my case, I feel like I had faith to go ahead and receive the medication, take it for a short amount of time. And as I'm improving, my body's just needing a little extra time and a few different tweaks than his male body needed to get mine in the right direction. So now I
Mm,
am completely improving even more
wonderful.
and expecting the same great results.
Amazing, amazing. So, backing up to you saying that Chris's doctor just can't even account for it. So, how do you account for it? What do you think did it for Chris
Uh,
to balance his blood sugar to the point where he didn't need those 4 injections or the metformin pill?
I believe, honestly, I went through the fundamentals class. That was the first one. I completed that A to Z, and I did most of that. So, like, the biggest thing that we did immediately was I had been on a keto type of very low carb diet. So, I already knew about macros and sugar. So, it was easy for me to take him off of white sugars. But what I learned in the fundamentals was about the ancient grains.
Mm.
And then, of course, the carbohydrates and how all of this affects our bodies and the preparation. Those things were like the major game changers. I had listened to one of your interviews with a man named Anthony. I found it.
Yes.
I think there was two different parts or an update to him later that I went back and listened to as well. But that interview gave me absolute faith and confidence. It gave me just a leap of faith to be able to say, if I do this program, it's possible. God can heal my husband. We can just give his body the right stuff. So the ancient grains, just learning about the hybridized American grain was a game changer. It was like, oh my gosh, it's in everything. So even though we were shopping correctly, like shop in the outside aisles of your grocery store and you'll be healthy. Nope, nope, because the stuff in the grocery stores is not healthy. It's not the way God intended. It's been just over processed, ultra processed, away from anything that even resembles the way God created our bodies to receive it. So, in my mind, when I learned the fundamentals and then I took the ancient grains class and learning how to prepare all of this, the grains, first of all, that we could feed him sourdough bread. So, when you get a diagnosis like diabetes, it's very scary because
Mhm.
you know about it in your peripheral life from hearing about it from other people or horror stories. You have to lose everything that you enjoy. If you like bread and pasta, I'm Irish. I happen to make the best mashed potatoes on the face of the planet. Well, guess what? It can't
Sure.
gone. So that was our initial reaction to this diagnosis was, oh my gosh, we are not going to be able to enjoy anything anymore. I was very happy as I was going through the fundamentals and just learning the basics. I just felt so many glimmers of hope. It was like, okay, when we get to that one, I'm going to learn how to do this. I'm going to replace certain things that we have to give up with these certain things. And Wardy's going to teach me how to do this. And it worked. It worked. I'm going to try not to cry because this was absolutely life changing. And it was so simple to learn. It's a complicated topic, but I found the videos and the PDFs and the homework and the quizzes, everything just goes together. And when you plug in and just do the steps, just as they're laid out, it works perfectly. I learned it. It was simple. I'm now teaching everybody that I come across. I can't shut up about it. So being able to is soaking and fermenting the foods. I created some new recipes. I use,
Oh, good for you.
yeah, it's amazing. I may start selling them just local.
Oh, fantastic.
I trade chicken eggs for sourdough because my sourdough, it didn't
Yeah.
do what it was supposed to do yet.
But you will get there.
We'll get there. But I have a lady right up the road that she loves my chicken eggs, so she can do her baking. So I was just trading her really good chicken eggs, and she would give me a loaf of sourdough bread. And the way she soaks hers and the flours that she uses, both my husband and I, as diabetics, were able to tolerate it. So
Amazing.
it didn't spike us off the charts. So maybe that's another reason that I was okay putting aside the sourdough class
Yeah.
now because that need in my life is met in a very good way.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she's encouraging me
Right.
to sell things in her little yard stand. So
Hmm.
I might use that.
Yeah. That's fantastic. So, Mary, I just wanted to summarize some of the points you made. So, the difference for your husband and for you as well, because you're dealing with prediabetes, ancient grains, which I'll just explain for people listening. So, ancient grains, they have the healthy fiber, they have gentler starch, gentler gluten. And then, if you use traditional cooking methods such as soaking or sourdough, you improve the nutrition and digestibility even more. So, you have a whole bunch of benefits for your blood sugar and your overall nutrition. So, just to explain that a little bit. And just to tell you, Mary, part of Eat God's Way is not that, oh, I have to do everything myself. It's making better choices to embrace God's design for our nutrition, to honor Him, not because of any checklists. So if your neighbor is, I mean, that's just such a community wonderful thing to support each other. So if your neighbor makes the bread and you and your husband produce the eggs, why not? Just everybody benefits. You don't have to do it yourself. I know you want to, but just to encourage you, that's just a beautiful, beautiful thing. And then just all those little pieces coming into place to make such a difference for your husband and for you is just wonderful.
It has been amazing. I soak everything like I've got on a schedule because replacing pasta and potatoes, all those starches, we were able to replace it with like quinoa. And I learned from this program that quinoa is a seed and it has that God put a shell around it, the saponin, to protect the seed. And if we don't get that off, then it actually does worse for our bodies when we ingest it. It will leach our minerals out. So learning those critical components about how God designed our bodies to work. And then when we honor him by preparing the food correctly and eating it in the state that it needs to be eaten in, our bodies literally are able to heal themselves. And we have experienced that. I am convinced that there is no limit to what God can do inside of us when we honor him in the way we eat, learn about the way that he created things. And I think in our modern society, we've just gotten so far away from doing things God's way. It's such a fast-paced world that we're in for so many people. And we were in that. I'm out of the workforce now, but I was a wife and a mom who worked full time. And you just get this idea in your head that this is impossible to eat God's way and traditional cooking methods. But the way the material was presented, the way you teach it, it literally does save time. It's
Hmm.
kind of an oxymoron. It's hard to wrap your head around it until you actually learn it and do it. But literally, I am saving time now. Even if I worked full time again, I would not have to change my food preparation.
You could still keep up.
Yes. And I'm
Yeah, that's great.
learning more. So I've got all these little mental goals on where my roadmap is going next. I want to learn more about culturing dairy. I've tried some of that and had some great successes there. I'm eating yogurt every day. We now have a herd share, bring for raw dairy every day. I can't keep enough in the house. So my son, my 30-year-old, lives with us. He had a kidney transplant a year ago. He has just discovered, along with my husband, that this half gallon of raw dairy is really good. So I'm gonna have to double my herd share and get like a gallon. And that's a good problem to have.
That is a great problem to have. Yes, yes, yes.
Um,
So back to the You've Saved Time. I was going to ask you about that because last week when we were talking, you were sharing about how you're on your own kind of journey, struggling with your hormones. And several years ago, you were just not functioning because you felt so bad. So just the fact that you are keeping up with it all and finding that it saves time. What have you found about your energy levels and keeping up? Tell us more about how the cooking saves you time.
Oh my gosh. Batch cooking was something that was really helpful. But then when I soak and ferment foods now, I can take like one day or maybe 2 days and just a little bit of time each day just to prep. So I'll put
Yep.
and my rice on to soak. I learned how to get the arsenic out of the rice from your program.
Mhm.
Which is a little bit of charcoal. So all these great things, I can just get everything set up. And then it's just the next day, it's ready to throw in the Instapot or the rice cooker, mix it together, we store it, and it's done for the whole week. We have enough.
Yeah, yeah.
So just things like that. And I think that what this program has helped me with too enormously is it's relieved a lot of stress. It's that anxiety. I get decision fatigue, which is what
Mhm.
really hit me hard during my own personal battle with the menopause. My thyroid had stopped working also. So there was a point that you referenced where there was probably 2 years of my life where I was just flatlined. I couldn't stay out of bed. I'd wake up in the morning and get up, try to have a cup of coffee or something, and I couldn't even stay out of bed. I just had no energy. I was literally just deflated. And then with the hormone piece, it also removes your motivation. So
Hmm.
I was
Yep.
just in this battle with myself constantly, so much stress, which was making everything worse. So
Hmm.
finding this program and just watching what it did to Chris, really just the miraculous changes in his health, in his energy, in everything made it worth it. And this was easy enough to start that one lesson at a time I could get little wins, right? So I would do
Mhm.
I'd pick a homework and it was giving me little wins. Nothing was so super hard, either physically or mentally, that I could not do it or try it. And so I had all these little wins and they just started to build up. In the meantime, I was with a doctor that had me on the wrong medication. So about 4 months ago, I just got on a right medication. But the timeline for me was helping Chris from April till now, getting to feeling better and getting his diabetes healed and reversed. I credit the eating way, even though I didn't get the diabetic help, the glucose piece right away. It helped me with my stress, with my thyroid, with my hormone balance, just getting off of the processed meat and the hormone disruptors alone
Mhm.
immediately helped me. So I was getting help the whole time. It was just in a different way. And
Mhm. Mhm.
the stress relief of not having to continue to make those decisions every day about, oh my gosh, what am I going to feed him? What are we going to have for dinner? All of that went away because I could batch cook now and I could soak something and know, okay, I don't got to worry about that because that's going to be done tomorrow night and I'm going to be good for 7 days there. Then I started baking and making yogurt, making my own yogurt. Oh my gosh.
Amazing.
Granola. I have an Excalibur dehydrator, top of the line model that I bought probably 12 or 13 years ago
Oh,
in storage, just not even getting used. So I encountered this program. I'm like, oh,
I
look,
get to use my dehydrator.
oh, it's back in the house. It's, oh, yeah. Just,
You're a breath of fresh air, Mary.
I'm so excited. I am so excited. I'm really looking
So
forward to learning more.
let's talk about what you're eating because you got your husband's diagnosis, you got your own diagnosis, and both of you are like, oh no, we can't enjoy food anymore. So I know you talked about rice and quinoa. You get sourdough bread from your neighbor. Do you feel like there's any lack? Does your husband feel like there's any lack?
No, no. In fact, he is 6'3". He lost a whole bunch of weight, but before the diabetes, he's a really good sized guy. He does concrete.
So he lost the weight before diabetes or since the diabetes?
It was because of the diabetes. He really had a crash. That was kind of what
Okay.
got us into, whoa, something's really wrong
He's
here.
wrong. Okay, okay, okay.
But he constantly tells me that he can now, like the type of sandwiches I make him, the breakfast, I make an oat bake in the morning. He can
Mhm.
actually eat oats very safely because I've learned how to soak them and rinse them. And the texture, even though I've rinsed them,
Great.
rinsed the starch off, the texture is beautiful. It's wonderful. That's one of the things I'm
Awesome.
start selling because it's diabetic friendly. It's
Yeah.
one of
Who
those
would have thought?
forbidden things for diabetics, and we can now eat it. He's always telling me how super satisfied he feels and how he's able, from one meal for the first time in probably his whole life, he can feel satisfied until the next meal. So for a guy like him who's working really hard physically, burning off high metabolism, he loves it. He brags to everyone
Great.
about this. He comes home and tells me how he makes sure the other guys can smell his oat bake. I also created an egg bake type of thing too for him.
Ooh,
Is
nice, Mary.
we only eat clean meat now. Oh my gosh. And then don't get me started on the broth. Oh, the broth.
Delicious.
Oh my gosh. I have two Instapots. I'm a pothead officially.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Good for you.
And you know what? It's amazing just what a difference those nutrients. If I could give people one piece of advice,
Yes.
it would be when you need to make a change or you need to lose weight or you just don't feel good. Think about what can you add in? What little change can you make to add something into your diet rather than, oh, I have to cut this off and I have to give this up.
Sure.
Also negative, and that's one of the things the Lord helped me greatly with, was just to see things, reframe it. Oh, I can add bone broth in 3 hours with an Instapot. I can have delicious, nutritious, nutrient dense bone broth. If that's all you can do is just drink a little bit or cook your pasta in it, whatever you're cooking, cook it with that nutrient dense bone broth. It makes a difference. Our bodies are craving the nutrients that are available to us when we learn how to prepare things correctly.
Plus, it tastes amazing.
Yes. Oh,
Like whatever you cook in it's going to be like out of this world.
Fact. Fact
Oh,
skin.
that's such good advice. I love it because you're right. It reframes it. It more turns it into an opportunity. And
It,
if you lead with that, you add the little thing into your diet that is nutrient dense, like you've been saying, Mary, you are much less likely to crave. So something is automatically going to leave because you're just not going to have room or desire for it.
you're absolutely right.
Well, you said it, Mary.
It's such a simple thing. It's just the simplest thing in the world. But if you don't sit down and think about it or know where to start, I think that's a really good place to start. It's just
Yeah.
adding.
Add something little.
For me, I was at a really critical point in my own energy. I don't even know how I pulled this off, to be honest, in the beginning, because I was just so far
Oh,
gone.
Lord.
Yes, Lord, for sure. But just the little wins, being able to pick one homework a week, just
Yeah.
one little thing, it
Yeah.
was so overwhelming that I couldn't start it
Yeah.
condition that I was in now. And you can look at me now. I don't even drink coffee anymore. I gave up coffee.
Oh,
I
good
learned
for you.
I learned that coffee has mold. A lot of the coffee
Mhm.
has mold. And I just thought maybe I can just skip that for a little bit and see what happens. And I'm not saying anybody else has to do that. Feed
No judgment.
have raises your blood sugar. That's why when they tell you for fasting blood draws, you're not supposed to have coffee, not even black coffee. They're
Mhm.
telling you now because the caffeine itself. But I just have boundless energy. I'm focused, and I'm sure the prescription medication I'm still on is helping me, but I have no doubt in my mind about the road ahead of me. I know that God, He's going to allow me to reduce this medication and get completely off of it. There's no doubt in my mind that if I continue to just honor Him, He's already done the work. He created me to perfection, the way my body can just heal itself. So I'm just going to keep listening and saying, yes, Lord, what else can I do?
Mhm.
What else can I add?
Oh,
Just,
that's beautiful, Mary. You have a
I'm,
beautiful faith. We have to believe those things. God doesn't always give us, but we believe and we take actions and then we let Him bring the fruit. And so many times He does. Wonderful. So, what is next for Mary and Chris in terms of what you want to learn or what you want to eat?
we are actually adding back in natural sugars for him. So fruit and all that. We're just going as the Lord leads a little bit, not crazy. And thankfully for this program, I've learned about honey and maple syrup, the healthy stuff. We're trying that now. We're adding back in a little bit more carbohydrates, which is great. But I think the next class, I really want to work on my bread. But again, I want to work on the dairy a little bit more because I'm half in, half out of that whole scenario.
Mhm.
I want to make butter and all that. But we just want to keep living our lives and getting better and closer to God and just keep doing what we're doing. You have so much information and teaching that I believe is just more valuable than gold. I just want
Oh,
to keep going at whatever pace God leads me to in taking my next class through traditional cooking school and just keep sharing it. Just keep living our lives because our lives are a testimony. What God has done in our lives already is just mind blowing. We're living it, and even we just sit back sometime and just say, wow, God. I'm actually starting a gym membership. So that was the last piece in my health and well being that I really needed to get out of my sedentary lifestyle because the sickness,
good for you.
that's working out really well. And we're just going to keep going. We're going to keep going and
Wonderful.
seeing new recipes and sharing.
We are so thrilled to have you in our program, and I look forward to chatting with you again to get an update to see what's happening with you later. Before we go, Mary, do you have any other advice for anybody listening? You had a great tip before about just add one more thing. Does anything else come to mind?
Not really. I think just have faith. What I did to learn more about your program that was helpful to me and free was I went on YouTube and watched several of your other interviews. I encourage anybody who's curious about this program or has a health need of their own that they want to just say, hey, God, I'm going to knock on this door. I would
Mhm.
encourage everybody to just go poke around on YouTube a little bit. And then definitely this program, it's been life changing for me, for my whole family.
Thank you, Mary.
My kidney recipient child, he's a year ago with this brand new kidney. His doctors are floored. He doesn't always eat with us. We wish he would because
Right.
yeah, but even his numbers and his doctor is really happy with his numbers and recovery process.
Wonderful.
Do that one
Well,
little, add the next thing, add the next thing.
that was the best advice. I'm probably going to write an email about that and quote you, Mary. It's really great advice. So if you thought about all the different people and all the different struggles in the world, who do you think would benefit from Eat God's Way?
Everybody.
Try to narrow it down.
I think definitely anybody with health issues of any kind, if you have gluten sensitivity, if you have food sensitivity, or you just simply don't feel like you're up to your best and you don't know what it is and you can't afford to go get all the lab tests to figure it out, just start with the fundamentals. The fundamentals were life changing. It's life changing because it opens the door to just the next right thing, the next
Yeah.
small you can do. Those wins add up. We're what, 11 months now? This is March. So it was a year ago, the end of April, when my husband's diagnosis just wrecked our whole life. And here we are a year later, and he is like off of medication. I mean, come on, really? I am on my feet. I'm going to the gym. I'm losing weight. I'm building muscle. Everybody can benefit in some way. I just believe there's so much goodness here. I'm just
Thank you, Mary. Thank you so much. All right. Well, I appreciate you sharing your story with us today. And for anybody listening, if you have health struggles and you want to make changes, Mary is a great example of someone where she and her husband were struggling. And they not only found out that it took less time, but their health was totally transformed in just a few months. So I've included information below this video where you can reach out and contact me to find out about current classes and enrollment dates, including some of the classes that Mary mentioned. And if you're brand new to all this, of course, we do recommend our Eat God's Way fundamentals. So just reach out and we can see if it might help you and what's possible. Thanks again, Mary. Bye-bye. God bless.